Yesterday, I uploaded a poem in which I came out as a person who believes, who understands rather than believes, that teaching children that they can transition their gender, especially before and during adolescence, does much more harm than good to them. And this, unfortunately, in some social circles is controversial. In this video, I will share another two unpopular opinions I have, and I will preface them with a type of conversation I have had way too many times, and I find it very interesting. So I would talk with a person and they would say, I believe something. And I would say, okay, but I disagree with what you say because argument one, argument two, argument three. What am I missing? What mistake have I made? And they would say, to their credit, you know what? I don't see any mistakes in your argument. It does make sense. And then I would go ahead and ask, so if you agree with my points, then you would have to retract your belief. You would have to admit your belief is mistaken. And they would say, no. I'm not going to change my mind, but I will consider your points. And I'm like, you agreed with the points and the points disprove your belief. They say, yes, but I'm not changing my mind. It's my belief. Because we are married to our beliefs, or at least we are emotionally attached to our beliefs, right? Just because you cannot find flaws in my arguments, you're not going to change your belief even if you agree with all the points that disprove it. I've seen it so many times. And this is how human psychology works. Whether we like it or not, we don't change our mind very easily. And I have literally heard versions of, I cannot change my mind just because you convinced me that my belief is false. Like, I've heard this way too many times. I'm like, if I want to be an asshole, I will say, oh, you don't make any sense. No, you make sense. You're a human. Your belief is part of your social identity. Your belief is part of who you think you are. It's very hard to admit to yourself and to the world that you have been living a lie. So I hear you. And I will probably push back if you give me good arguments that I cannot refute, that would contradict some of my fundamental beliefs. I would also push back. So I'm not saying I'm immune to that. I'm just saying that I should take my time and say, you know what? I was wrong. And in the end, I should be grateful that you taught me something. So one of these topics is kids with gender dysphoria. I don't want to call them trans kids because they are not trans kids. Transsexual is an identity, and I think it's very dangerous and counterproductive to give it as an option to kids. A trans person, to be a trans individual, is much better negotiated with yourself and with the society after you go through puberty, after you let all these hormonal changes change you as a person. And if you keep suffering and understand the consequences of taking all the meds and doing some operations and changing the way you appear to people and ask people nicely to accept you as the sex, as the gender that you're not, then yes, you're a trans person. And I will treat you as a trans person and I will be kind to you, not because you're trans, because you're a human being, okay? And if you're an asshole to me, I'm not going to respect you more. Maybe I will understand where the aggression is coming from, but we better respect each other at the fundamental level. It's a two-way street. So, belief number one, which unfortunately is controversial for some people, kids with gender dysphoria should not transition, not even consider, not even socially. For the reason I explained, we don't know how to predict which small percentage of the kids will not outgrow gender dysphoria. Okay. Belief number two, this is interesting, makes many people uncomfortable. I believe child obesity should be illegal. I think there should be legislation punished to fine parents if their kids are obese, not overweight, obese. And the reason is obesity is going to destroy the person's social life and also health. But I'm even more concerned about social life, about loneliness, about hating their bodies. It's a horrible thing. I was obese for many years. And the point is that parents absolutely can prevent their kids from overfeeding themselves. But for some reason, it's socially acceptable to have huge, massive kids. You're damaging. They're better off smoking. I'm serious. They're better off smoking than being so fat. So that's belief number two that people feel very unhappy about. But give me a good argument. Why should we keep allowing parents to let their kids get huge? And belief number three, a little bit more philosophical, is that animals do not have rights. What we call animal rights is a funny human concept which falls apart the moment we protect our dog and we eat a pig, we eat bacon, as we do. And I do understand that the concept of animal rights is useful for social human purposes. So if you see someone torturing a dog on the street, this is probably an indication, this is probably a symptom of that person doing other unethical things. Plus, the picture of somebody torturing a dog is corrupting the person who is watching it. So it's something that we don't want to give as an example, because animals are living beings and they can suffer, they do suffer. But this is our charity. You know, we run this world, whether you like it or not. Our relationship with the plants and the animals, somebody would argue also the non-organic matter, is that we do whatever the fuck we want. Maybe not all the time, okay, we cannot control a volcano, but overall, as humanity, we can do almost whatever we want with all the animals in the world, all the plants in the world. And we invented human rights, which is an amazingly useful and important concept. And then we say, you know what, animals are alive too. So let's give rights to the ones we like, but they don't have any responsibilities. But if my dog bites a person, it's okay to put him down. We can kill the dog, but we anthropomorphize animals in weird ways. But there is nothing inherent about animals having rights. If you think about them in the wild, is it the right of the lion to live and the gazelle to die? Or is it the right of the gazelle to live and the lion to die? It doesn't make any sense. We can talk about human rights much more meaningfully, and we can still talk about animal rights, but it is a concept that, with a little bit thought, is falling apart. I don't say it's not useful, I'm just saying it's a little bit sloppy, basically. So those are my 3 controversial points. I would like to invite you to correct me. I would like you to tell me where I'm wrong, what am I missing. I made the points very briefly, but I tried to make the shortest version of each argument. I can absolutely elaborate further about each one. But I haven't found someone that can shake the basis of those 3 points so far, and I want them to be shaken. I want them to be beaten. None of these 3 are hills I'm willing to die for, but I have yet to see how am I wrong. So, if you think I'm wrong in any of these 3 points, please let me know in the comments. And please don't take anything personally. I try to understand the world. I try to be a voice of reason and maybe useful in some ways. And if my words help you in any way, that will make me very, very happy. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.